Hey Aries, how y'all doing? Welcome. We are going to be taking a look at your February through March, your Imbolc season general reading here. So let's talk briefly about your meditation. It was very cool. I saw the image of a big black bear in the forest, and I saw it it was by a river, very sunny outside by a river, and I saw it with a fish on the ground, and I saw it sort of sitting next to the fish, looking at the river, waiting for something. And then I saw this fishing pole like pop out of the river and this line attach itself to this fish and start pulling the fish into the river. As I'm watching this, I'm thinking, like, is the bear gonna try to get their fish back? But no, it just waited. And the fish got pulled into the river through this mysterious fishing line that like rose like rose from the river, like King Arthur's sword style. And it, as the fish went into the river, the bear waited, and then out from the river, like flew from the river this huge, like a fish that was like 10 times the size of the little fish that was there before. This huge fish jumps out of the river and lands right at the bear's feet. And I saw the words, "The longer you wait, the bigger the return. The longer you wait, the bigger the return." Bear medicine is very much about timing. It's very much about, the fact that we're looking at February to March in the Northern Hemisphere, how we're moving from the winter time towards the spring. It's perfect for y'all, especially Aries being the fire sign that you are. You're moving into your season here on the other side of this time of springtime. So it's really beautiful. It's really interesting with the fish as well, and being patient, being able to wait and to know that the timing really does mean everything and can change everything. The longer you wait, the bigger the return. There's something about that. And then that symbol of the river, flowing, and about fish medicine too, is trusting that the river of life and of destiny to take you exactly where you're meant to be. Not feel like you have to strive so hard for things, but to allow things to come to you sometimes, right? Really beautiful. So your animal energy during this time is the phoenix. Now, come on. Come on, Aries. Couldn't be better for you. This circle representing that of spirit. So this is the equivalent of a major arcana within this animal deck, which means it's an important time. It's an important time. It's a fated or destined time for you that we're looking at here. So how you use it is definitely going to have consequence of some sort. So Phoenix, it's a bit of a hybrid for me in terms of how it corresponds to the tarot. It does hold within it death energy, right? Endings and new beginnings, right? Phoenix rising from the ashes. But it also represents Six of Swords for me, which is about transition and change, but having complete mental clarity and inner peace during times of transition and change, right? There's no one more comfortable with death and transition than the Phoenix. So the fact that that is casting its glow on you during this time period is incredibly positive, Aries. Very, very positive. Now, you are coming through as the Lovers, as Gemini energy, which is really interesting, given that we have that burning tree and this fire imagery here as well with Archangel Raphael here. The Lovers is about choices. It's very much about choices. It's also about inner and outer duality. And it's the fact that choices that we make are either from love or fear. Right? That's a truth that I know to be true. Choices at their root, if you dig deeply enough, you will find that every choice we make is either from love or from fear. So it's interesting that it's coming through in this way and that you are going to have some choices before you. But remember that bear, the longer you wait, the bigger the return. It's really fascinating how that's coming through as well. And sometimes it's about confidence. It's about, having the confidence needed to trust that, you're going to feel when the time is right to act on something or to say yes or no to something, and to be able to wait it out because you just know that what is yours is not going to pass you by. Now that does take confidence to truly believe and embody that, right? And the greatest investors in the world, the ones who really hit it big, have that confidence where they don't feel the need to jump at every little fish that comes their way, to tug on every little fishing line. It's about trusting and knowing your intuition and your instinct is on point, and that what is yours is going to feel right to you, and you're just going to know. You're going to know when the time is right. That feels like the message of this. You're going to know when the time is right. Your challenge is coming through is the Three of Cups and the Three of Swords in reverse. So I'm going to put this in the upright for the sake of the visual. So what's really interesting here is that you have two threes, right? And then you have six with the Lovers. Three of Swords traditionally is about healing from heart pain, usually heart pain that stems from the past. It could be the recent past or the more further reaching past, like childhood. But the fact that it's paired with Three of Cups, which is a celebration, joy, friendship, communion, laughter. The fact that this was in reverse too, I do feel like the fact that this is in your place of challenge is really saying like, there might be some dissatisfaction with some events around groups or, coming from a place where you feel like, there was some loss in some way. It could definitely be relating to family as well, or again, that past and that, the pain that we feel as children can really have a way of staying with us. So there's something about this coming through. And I feel like it's directly linked to your confidence and how you see yourself or things that you learned about yourself or were taught at a younger age and how it might be affecting your decision making now. Right? Sometimes confidence, it's something that we choose to embody. And sometimes it's something that we have to build up over time and really prove to ourselves that we have the ability to, choose well and choose for ourselves and choose from love and not fear. So it's interesting how this is coming up, Aries, especially with the Phoenix being the Six of Swords and the death energy. But I do feel like there's some healing here that wants to happen. And sometimes when our heart is holding on to things or it's in pain or it's got some old stuff that needs to be cleared, right? It can really act as a block, and it can really act as a filtration system through which we're viewing things, and it's never in a helpful lens, right? So just something to think about. Now, in your place of advice, this is fascinating. You have 9 of Wands, right? This is about that wounded warrior, but it's also so much about perseverance. It's about energy management. It's about, again, having the confidence to know in your soul, because the Wands rule the realm of the soul, that you are on your path, you're where you're meant to be, and that any obstacles or challenges that you face, you will surmount through sheer will. That's what this is. And also the fact that it's number 9 and it's, that's a number of completion before you reach the final end point of a cycle. I really, really feel like the fact that he's like looking at this as well. I feel like you're being advised to look at the ways in which you can renew or refresh yourself spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. This is a perfect time of year to do this as well. And when I think about that bear waiting for the right moment, the longer you wait, the bigger the return. That could be in part because there is this healing and this renewal that needs to happen. I would even say, it can be very helpful when we mirror what nature is doing, right? So nature right now, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, and in the Southern Hemisphere, it's similar, it's just on the other side of the coin. But in the Northern Hemisphere, everything is slumbering for the most part, right? It's slumber. It's in a state of sleep. So I feel like you are being advised to sort of mirror that within for yourself and honor the parts of you that could use some TLC, because you're going to want to have plenty of energy and, feel the benefit of that healing work in time and that rejuvenation, however you want to look at it, to go into what's coming next, because there really is something about timing and a big return that's coming up for you. In your place of victory, you have 2 of Swords in reverse. So fascinating, because this is about the heart and the head coming together for equal conference, about taking that time out, about really welcoming the inner peace that exists only when you are able to sit down and really connect with yourself fully. So the fact that this is coming up in reverse in your place of victory, I really feel like this is saying that it's going from a time of 2 of Swords where maybe there's some indecision or confusion or not being able to see what's coming next for you or what you really want to do next. It's transforming. I just see this Ace of Swords right here. Big clarity, new opportunity, big returns. So you're moving from a time of stasis like into a time of movement. That's what this feels like to me. Now, in your outcome, beautiful. You have 9 of Swords, which is, nightmares. It's being up in the night. It could also be dreamtime messages, but it's also the worst case scenario thinking, right? It's like, God, what's the worst that could happen? But it's paired with the Star. Aquarian energy, right? This is the season we're in right now. So Aquarian season is big wish fulfillment. It's star treatment. It's being in the light. It's really living up to your highest and fullest potential. Great love, great hope, great faith. This is really, really beautiful. And the fact that it is shown here with this oyster as well, really speaks of how, how people say, like, be careful what you wish for. The fact that that saying exists really speaks of, even when we get what we want, change is required, right? There's wanting something, and then there's actually getting it, and all of the things within you that are required to step up to that new level to receive what you've manifested and feel good in it, right? And I feel like I'm being taken back to your confidence in a big way. But the fact that these, did something knock your confidence in the past? That's the question. Did something happen? Can you rebuild yourself up from that point? Be the phoenix and rise from those ashes. The Nine of Swords here, right? With the star, I also feel like there's a really good energy here around nighttime inspiration, dreams and messages that come to you in the nighttime that are there to help heal you and prepare you and inspire you, more deeply into your soul purpose and where you want to go. Now, in your oracle here, you have House Mouse. This is the Imbolc oracle. So House Mouse number 27, which 7 plus 2 is 9. So you have 3 9s here. Interesting, and 3s. The 9 of Wands and the 9 of Swords. 2 6s, 6 of Swords, and the Lovers, number 6, 2 3s. Really interesting. You know the things you are capable of, but are you confident in leaning into that belief? Really, really interesting. Really, really interesting. You know the things you are capable of, but are you confident in leaning into that belief? Mouse medicine here is very much about how you see things, but it's also about paying attention to the details of your situation. So I want to take us back to that bear in the forest with the little fish. If he had just accepted that little fish as the best that he could get, or the most that he was worthy of, having, he would have missed out, right? He would have missed out on that big feast day that would have kept him full and his family full for a long time. So there is something here about really looking at the finer points and details of your situation, but also, what you dream of for yourself. Because I feel like there's something in your mind or a point of clarity in your spirit that just wants to be sort of amped up and not just healed, but sort of like given a new lease on life, right? And again, mice are incredibly brave creatures. Everything around them is larger than life, and yet they just, it's not that they don't feel fear, it's that they feel fear and do it anyway. So there is something around this where I feel like there's self-doubt coming in here, or sort of feeling a bit world weary and like, can I really keep going this way? Or is this really going to be worth it? Or do I have it in me, or something like that? But I feel like this can be a transitory phase where the more that you just allow yourself to feel, right, those points within you that need some TLC, the more you'll be able to send love to those aspects of you, get a new perspective on it, and then regain the energy you need to move forward into a place of clarity and wish fulfillment. That's what it is. And again, the key word for you is confidence, Aries, which you as a sign, I mean, that's a big part of what your energy signature is, right? Within the zodiac, Aries, you are the emperor, right? You come from a place of authority and purpose and passion. You are the example. You are the example. You are the masculine energy of the entire tarot. So the fact that this is coming up for you can also speak of ways in which you maybe give more than you receive. And can you look after yourself and take care of yourself during this time just as well, or even better than you take care of others? Because it's time to turn that attention and focus on you. It's really, really necessary and needed at this time. You're going to be glad you did with what's coming, because it's going to take, energy and, a point of, believing that you're manifesting everything that you deserve and that you can handle this wish fulfillment coming your way, right? Because if your mind's not right, if your spirit is weary, some way, shape, or form, and you're giving from a cup that's empty, it doesn't really matter what good is coming to you. You're not going to be able to fully receive it fully, right? So it's timing again. Timing is absolutely everything. The longer you wait, the bigger the return. Take care of yourself in these moments. You're going to be glad that you did. Really, really beautiful, Aries, very healing messages here. So that being said, I really hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I absolutely love reading your comments. I try and respond to each and every one of y'all. Please give me a like, a subscribe, a share. I would so appreciate that. And with that being said, just thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you watching this so much, Aries. And most of all, and as always, just thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.